chapter 6, trigonometric functions, right triangle approach. Okay, I am going to do this section by just reading and explaining, because if I write, there is a lag between my writing and talking, and so you might get confused. So I'm just going to explain. I have already solved the examples. A couple of them I have left them for you to do, and you should be able to understand, I hope, better. So the first thing we do is define how we will measure the angles, or how can we measure the angles. Now, degree measure of an angle, I hope you already know. What is 1 degree? 1 degree is equal to 1/360th part of the circle. What that means is that if you divide the circle into 360 pieces, then that arc, or that piece that makes the circle, that small piece that will make the circle, will be a part of the circle, that is, the length of that little arc is 1 degree. What is a radian measure? So remember, it's basically, we are thinking of measuring the circle. Okay, when we are talking about of an angle, it's actually the arc that we are talking about. So radian measure. So if a circle of radius 1 is drawn with the vertex of an angle theta at its center, then the measure of theta is in radians, abbreviated as RAD, is the length of the arc that subtends the angle. So on the picture on the right, you can see we have the angle theta, whose vertex is at the center of a unit circle. Then if the initial side of the angle is on the x-axis, that's what we want. We want to have the circle with the vertex at its center, and the measure of theta, radians, will be the length of the arc that is making that angle, or that subtends that angle. But theta is a Greek alphabet. It is written as THETA and is written like this. Now, relationship between degrees and radians. So we know that there are 360 degrees in one whole circle, but also we know that the length of the whole circle, or the circumference of the circle, is 2 pi r. Now if r is 1, which it is because we said we are taking unit circle, so r is 1, so it becomes 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians. So then dividing by 2 pi, I get 180 is equal to pi radians, which is a very important equation here. So under the heading relationship between degrees and radians, the first equation I wrote 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. Now this helps us create formulas for conversion between degrees and radians. So if I divide both sides by 180, I get 1 degree is equal to pi over 180 radians. And then if I divide instead by pi on both sides, I'll get 1 radian is equal to 180 over pi degrees. Now to convert, this is something you have to remember. To convert degrees to radians, we multiply by pi over 180 and then simplify. And to convert radians to degrees, we multiply by 180 over pi. And of course simplify. Now note here that when no unit is mentioned, then it means the angle is given in radians. Okay? Then it's a radian measure we are talking about. So example 1, find the degree measure of the angle with the given radian measure. So we are given these angles and we have to convert them into degree measure. So the first one is 11 pi over 3. What do? 11 pi over 3 multiplied by 180 over pi. Pi and pi cancel out. 3 goes into 180 60 times, so I end up getting 11 times 60, which is 660 degrees. The next example, negative 3 pi over 2. So I take negative 3 pi over 2, multiply it by 180 over pi. Pi and pi cancel out, simplify, the negative sign stays as it is, so we get negative 270 degrees. That is our degree measure. Then number 3, again multiply by 180 over pi, simplify, and we end up getting 50 degrees. Now the fourth part is saying 2. So it means 2 radians. Now 2 radians, we have to convert it into degrees, so multiply by 180 over pi. Now we don't have that situation where we could easily cancel the pi. So in this case, most often you will want the answer to be in like a number. So you can take your calculator and approximate the value. So in this case, we are getting 104, a little more than 114. So we round off at 2 decimal places to get 114.65 degrees. Okay, so now second example is the other way. So we are given the angle in degrees and we are going to convert it into radians. First one, 175 degrees. So multiply by pi over 180. We can simplify 175 and 180 by finding common factor. So I know that 5 can divide both. So when divided, the 175 becomes 35, 180 becomes 36. So in the end, we say our answer is 35 pi over 36. Now this degree kind of goes away from here, and then we are getting the answer as 35 pi over 36. Now you can write it radian RAD there, or you may just say 35 pi over 36. Now the second one, I left it for you guys to try on your own and see what you get as an answer. 50. Next one is 54 degrees. Well, again, we multiply by pi over 180 and try to simplify, and you will see that we end up getting 3 pi over 10. Then we have 15 degrees, so do the same thing, multiply by pi over 180, and we end up getting pi over 12. Okay, I'll stop here and we'll meet you in the next video.